And I hope that you're well. So today I'm going through some shoulder openers. I've been having a few issues with my neck and sort of shoulder related. I had an accident a few years ago and it's never been the same. I ended up getting compression and whiplash. It took me a long while to recover, and then when I did, I would still get every now and again like frozen neck where I wouldn't be able to move for, you know, a good 3 days, and then I'd start having a bit of mobility. Things would then seem to go back to normal, and then before you know it, you know, a few months or another year would go by and I'd have exactly the same thing. So this is why shoulder opening is really, really important to me, because it could be the smallest. It's generally the smallest thing that happens. You would have thought it would happen whilst I'm like in a headstand or something, but I've had the times where I will struggle with my neck is where Alexia's, you know, yanking my arm going, mummy, 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 and I'm trying to do, you know, several things all at once, and then all of a sudden it will just go. And then, yeah, then I can't move. So keeping my neck and shoulders loose, mobile, and stable is really important to me. Yeah, enough waffle. Let's do this together. It's only a few movements. It's not going to take up much of your time, but it's going to hopefully make you feel better, and me too. I'll see you on the mat. So I'm going to start off sitting cross-legged for this one, and I'm just going to place my hands on top of my knees and first of all just kind of increase a little bit of blood flow to this area. So I take a few shoulder rolls, nothing groundbreaking or anything like that, and it's really obvious, but we don't do these enough. So we want to try and get the nice retraction there of the shoulders, nice rotation, smooth movements, and we almost want the shoulder blades to feel like they're moving and sliding up and down like butter. So we don't want, you know, any jerky movements if possible, and you can go forwards as well. That's really good. After you've done a few of those, then I will try and make sure that I press down through my sit bones, try and sit up nice and tall, which means don't sit like a soldier to attention, but what you really want to do is think about the shoulders relaxing back and down, your ribs slightly hugging in so you're not puffing your chest, and also you're not rounding through your back. So you want to sit up nice and tall, lengthen through the base of the spine, and then lift up through the crown of the head. I find that little juicy piece of advice really helps me. So after I've done that, then I'm going to work on my neck. So I'm going to take, will be your left hand over towards the right side of the head, and on my next exhale, I'm going to slowly guide my head over towards my left hand side. Try and relax your shoulders as best as you can. Of course, if you're really, really tight in the neck, then, you know, don't go as far. Some people may be a bit more flexible than me, will be able to go a bit further. That doesn't matter at all. And the main thing is that you really feel this nice stretch all along the side of the neck and open up through the collarbones. Now, another trick that I like to do is after I've established the stretch and just taken a moment to pause, and then I'm going to roll around that right shoulder and rotate it backwards. Of course, if that doesn't feel good and you need to just hold in stillness because you need something a bit more stable, then that's absolutely fine. So I'll do that a few times. Then I'll come back up towards the center. I can really feel it now along this side, so I need to stretch that out. So I take right hand over towards that left side of the head, nearby the ear. Take a big inhale to prepare. And then on my exhale, moving the head over. Try and sit tall still, so try not to collapse into it. And again, open up through the collarbones, the shoulder moves back, and then rotate the shoulder around. So this seems really obvious, but my issue is if I don't do these, I find that I have the tight, stiff neck issue, or what my worst is the frozen neck. And it's really painful. If you've ever had it before, you'll know what I'm talking about. So you'll come back up towards the center. I'm going to interlace my hands together and then wrap them around sort of roughly that sort of ponytail area. So interlacing the hands round towards the back of the head. Again, sit nice and tall. Big inhale to prepare. And as I exhale, bring my chin down towards my chest. Navel to spine. Just felt like a little shift and click there. Try and relax your shoulders. I can feel my shoulders are still a bit tense, so I'm going to drop those down. It felt like they just dropped down by a couple of inches then. Good. Keep holding. And whenever you're ready, slowly come up. Now this is the one that I do struggle with, because when I lift my chin up, I want to sort of sink my shoulders back and down. So when I lift my chin up, I'm going to roll my shoulders back, open up through my chest and heart. Imagine there's a dot in the center of your chest that you're trying to reach up in the same direction as your chin's going in. So whenever you're ready, I'm going to position the hand there on the heart as a reference, roll the shoulders back. And as I start lifting the chin, I'm going to lift the chest as well. And think about my shoulders moving back and down. Taking your breath, really open up the lungs. See, if I was kind of rounded in that position, I'm going to come back down. If I was rounded in that position, I'd find that my I'd be kind of slumping into my diaphragm, and therefore my breathing wouldn't be as great. So by opening up, you get to really utilize the lungs, the diaphragm, the abdomen really well. So on to the next part. So you're going to start off on all fours. You want shoulders above wrists and hips stacked above knees. Push away the floor. That will help lift the chest and also broaden the shoulders and draw navel to spine. So to start off with, going into Wild Thing, we're going to take your left toes out towards the side, right foot directly towards the back. Sweep your right leg round towards your left hand side, and finally reach your right hand up towards the sky. Now that might be enough. Push away from the floor, really broaden the chest and the shoulders. If you can go further, explore seeing, you can take this right hand overhead. And whilst I'm doing this, I'm really listening to my body. Avoid throwing your head all the way back. Keep lifting up through the chest, press down through that back foot. And when I do that, I can start lifting the hips up higher and finding my back bend. Then from here, I'm going to slowly come all the way down. And of course, I'm going to repeat on the other side. So find all fours again. Right toes out towards the side. Left foot directly towards the back. Sweep that left leg around towards your right hand side. Picking up that left hand up. And then from here, navel to spine. Start reaching above and over. Keep lifting the chest. Keep pressing that back foot deep into the floor. Keep pressing that hand so you don't collapse into the shoulder. And whenever you're ready, slowly come all the way down. Nice job. So I'm going to sink back there onto the heels. You can sit down on your buttocks, of course, if the knees don't like this. I'm just going to roll around the wrists. And again, roll around the shoulders, still keeping this part of the body nice and open here. So whenever you're ready, you're going to come back onto all fours. And this time move into cat and cow. So from this tabletop position, I love this one because it's like a base for so many other postures as well. So get used to it, get used to just kind of being there already with shoulders above wrists and hips stacked above knees. With cat and cow, you're going to round the back into cat stretch. So lower the head down and lengthen your tailbone towards the backs of the knees. Draw your ribs in and your belly button as well. Now keep your navel to spine as you transition, and you're going to lift your chin up. Again, think about those shoulders rolling back and away. Lift your sit bones up towards the sky. So I think this pose, if you're new to yoga, takes a while to get used to. So when you're ready, moving into cat pose, rounding and letting the entire back dome. And then, of course, moving into cow pose, lifting the chin and lifting your sit bones. So again, inhaling to round. On my exhale, moving into cow pose. And then from here, neutral spine, gazing between the thumbs, and slowly sit back. Again, roll around the wrists, roll around the shoulders. This time I'm going to move into child's pose. So first of all, I want to make sure that my knees are either hip distance apart or shoulder width apart. Big toes together, touching, but never overlap the feet, as this will tilt the pelvis, and you want to stay nice and balanced in this one. So whenever you're ready, reach the hands forwards, take it slow. Don't worry if your buttocks aren't touching your heels, that's absolutely fine. And once you've done that, you're going to lift your chest and heart up, and you're going to walk your hands round over towards your left hand side. So when you do this, you can see how I slowly walk the hands round. And once you've found a good spot that you think, yeah, I can really feel a nice stretch, now I want you to soften the elbows, the shoulders, the head all the way down. And you want to hang out there for a couple of breaths.
Maybe take an inhale through the nose and a long exhale coming out through the mouth. Then I'm going to come back up, lift the chest and heart up slightly so I can walk around. And then once you've set the hands where you want them to be, then soften, ground into it, and let your whole body find the floor. Navel to spine. And then come back towards the center. If your head doesn't touch the floor so easily in child's pose and it's a pose that you want to do, then you can stack the hands on top of one another into fist or flat, and then you can rest the head into the hands. And especially if you're used to doing back bends, then you're going to want to use child's pose as your little pit stop, a pose that you can do to rest and recover and also soothe the lower back as well. Another pose that I really like to do and play around with is seeing if I can thread the needle. So I wouldn't recommend this if your neck is really, really proving troublesome, but I like doing this when on the days where I am feeling mobile, I can feel my upper body's doing pretty well, my neck is, more as like a prevention tool rather than when you're in pain and trying to rehab, the neck and shoulders. So let's give this a shot. We're going to go onto all fours, and I'm going to be taking my right hand to thread towards my 9 o'clock, so towards my left hand side. Keep the right hand quite close to the left arm, so that way you're not kind of bringing your bum back. And as you slowly come down, see if you can melt your shoulder, side of the head comes down towards the floor. You want your hips pretty much above your knees, so you don't want to sit sort of on your heels with this one. And from here, use what you've got on the ground, both knees, the feet as well. Press the hand into the earth. You can hold it right there. It's quite a deep twist as well for the spine, I feel. And then if you want to go a little bit further, take a bind. So I take left hand up towards the sky, and I'm going to slowly wrap that round towards my back or my waist. So when you're there, you want to think about rolling that left shoulder back and away, navel to spine, taking a breath. And of course, slowly coming out, I release the left hand. I want to press the left hand deep into the floor so I can slowly come up. Now I like to take a cat and cow in between that. So from all fours, I'm going to round the back here, let the entire back dome, head all the way down, lengthen your tailbone towards the backs of the knees, and then move into cow pose, lifting the chin and the sit bones. Then I reset, come into a neutral spine, and I'm ready to tackle the other side. So left hand is going to sweep towards your 3 o'clock, so towards your right side. Slowly bring the head all the way down. Try not to have your ear next to your shoulder, so try and create that space between your ear and your shoulder there for the neck to be long. And if you want to, you can reach that right hand up towards the sky now, or take a bind and wrap that round the waist. Everyone will be different. Some people will be here, and other people will be able to take, quite a deep bind and maybe even catch onto the head of the thigh. Everyone's different. Listen to your shoulders, your neck, your spine the whole time. And then from here, slowly release. Press the right hand into the floor. Coming up, again, moving into cat and cow. And then back towards the center. I'm going to even finish off with taking those shoulder rolls again. The head to stretch. Or the neck to stretch, sorry, you can't really stretch your head, can you imagine? And then I'm done. Now if you find that threading the needle is something that is something you kind of want to work towards and you're really interested in, but you're not able to do that yet, just stick with going into child's pose and walking the hands around towards the sides. That'll really help out. And you'll find that you'll get there. Even if you get sort of halfway down, it's absolutely fine. We all have to start somewhere, and every day is different. So don't put a seed of doubt into your mind thinking, I can't do this. You can do this. It's just taking it step by step. So I hope you enjoyed that.
And I'll see you next time on the mat. Thank you so much. Bye.